Thank you very much for the opportunity to present my little work. I think it will not be a very long presentation, but I would like to share my experience on using the polonium isotope generator based on the strontium resin. The next slide, please. Okay, yeah. First, several words about the background of this work. Well, several years ago, my colleagues asked me, well, they have performed a pilot plant at one of uranium plants in Russia, and they have performed rare earth elements concentrate from uranium leach liquors. Actually, this is an uranium plant with in situ leaching, and they have made some rare earth concentrate, and then they have given me some concentrate to evaluate the activity. So it was very radioactive concentrate, and you can see that activity was quite high, at least lead to 10. The activity was 2 megabecquerels per kilogram. So I have given the opportunity to get some polonium from this solution. Here is two spectrum, alpha spectrum and gamma spectrum of this concentrate. So it has much polonium, some also much actinium 227, and some uranium and thorium. Okay, the next slide, please. And then last year we have decided to make some experiments on polonium absorption, and then we have decided to make a polonium generator using this concentrate. We have chosen the strontium resin, which is very selective for strontium and even more selective for lead. And here you can see the selectivity of this resin. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, and we have performed, we have loaded the isotope generator, and here is the conditions of loading and rinsing and elution. So loading, we have performed loading from 3 molar nitric acid, then rinsing by 3 molar liquid nitric acid, and then elution of polonium. We for elution of polonium we have used 0.05 molar nitric acid. Okay, and the generator contained approximately 1 kilobecquerel of lead 210. The next slide, please. Yeah, here you can see the gamma spectrum of the generator of the column, strontium resin column with lead 210, and despite the very complex chemical composition of the concentrate and very complex radionuclide composition of the concentrate, you can see that only lead 210 is presented, it presents at the gamma spectrum. Okay, the next slide. Yeah, the polonium is very low. It's quite long, has quite long half-life, approximately 140 days. Therefore, we cannot. We should wait quite a long time to in growth of polonium, and we have loaded the generator in March of last year. In our luck, it was nearly 1 week before the lockdown. Very good luck. And at present, we have performed 4 elutions of polonium from this generator. Here you can see the dates. It was September of last year, December of last year, and this March and this September. The next slide, please. And so here are our experience of exploitation of the polonium generator. I would like to point the four points. Okay, bismuth is eluted together with polonium. However, in our experiments, it was not a problem because our experiments with students were focused on measurement of alpha activity of polonium. The next point is that the age of the strontium resin column was nearly 10 years, and this was not a problem. So we can state that the quite long age, old age of strontium resin column is not a problem for lead sorption from complex solutions. The third point is that the column was dried completely twice between elutions, and this was not a problem also. This did not affect its work. The polonium was eluted very well, and the last point, that almost no losses of lead after 4 elutions we have observed. Actually, in the loss of lead was nearly 0. At least it did not exceed 1%. Okay, the next slide, please. Thank you for attention. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the presentation. The strontium resin is really quite robust. That's quite impressive. I mean, 10 years is a long time. And it seems that the fact that you've loaded 1 kilobecquerel of lead to 10 for quite long time doesn't seem to interfere with the performance of the resin either. So in terms of radial stability, that's pretty good news. So
yes.
Very nice experiment. Yeah, interesting data.
Yes. Very good resin, actually.
Yeah, it's really robust, especially for lead. There's especially for lead retention indeed is very high. I think the fact that it contains so much octanol is certainly helping in terms of radiation stability. Yeah, it's very nice. And again, trying to take out valuable materials, radionuclides, out of waste at the end of the day is an upcoming topic. The amount of activity you had in your original solution is quite impressive. It's a pity that actinium-227 is a bit difficult to get out of that, I guess. There might be some applications for that, but that's probably going to be a quite tough separation to get actinium-227 out of that, depending on how much of the rare earth is still there. Okay, so are there any questions at the moment for Vladimir? Okay, if there are no more questions, then again, thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you.
For the very nice work. And yeah, again, thank you very much. So